Welcome to Dublin and the picturesque Phoenix Park, which this year celebrates its 350th anniversary. The green heart of Ireland's capital is Europe's largest urban park, and it plays host to the Great Ireland Run for the 10th time this year, with 11,500 people taking part in a series of events for young and old, and at the head of the field, the reigning double Olympic champion, Ethiopia's Kenenisa Bekele. Well, the race promises much, and the women's race promises to be very competitive over the 10-kilometre distance. The conditions not bad, and first to be introduced, Gemma Steele, second last year, on a winning streak at the moment, going very, very well overall, hoping to continue her success here. And next to her is Christelle Dornay of France, the French national marathon record holder, time set in 2010. And then, of course, Helen of Great Britain, the European indoor 3,000-metre champion. This is her third appearance at this race. Last year's winner then, Charlotte Purdue of Great Britain, ran a national road relay yesterday. She's the defending champion, looking to get back to her best form. And representing the Irish, Linda Byrne, a young woman who's already qualified to represent Ireland in the Olympic Games in the marathon. Well, a little bit of rain promised on this course, but the conditions generally pretty good, really. Last year, it was a win for Charlotte Purdue, as I said, and the race underway, and already you can see the spread between the very elite and those who are fine club runners. Helen in the middle of that pack. And Charlotte Purdue, incidentally, diminutive figure. She's only 4 feet 11, towards the right of that leading group. And Charlotte has had injuries. She's had a foot injury, which has hampered her coming back into really top-class form. And yesterday, having a very good leg, the second leg, I understand, in the road relay, the national road relay. But right in the middle, the British record holder for the steeplechase. And on the left of your shot, a young woman who really has impressed right the way through last season. Probably Britain's most successful and improving female athlete last year was Gemma Steele, European cross-country bronze medalist last year. But look at the spread already as they go down that Chesterfield Avenue, which is the start of this course. There it is, Chesterfield Avenue. They go down across the avenue towards Conningham Road at the bottom of the course. There you have it, Khyber Road, and turn left. They go round the 15 acres, past the football and hurling grounds, incidentally, at 7 kilometres, St Mary's Hospital there at 8 kilometres. Then they turn right, past 9, Firs Road, and then towards the finish. 10 kilometres in all, and that is the task ahead, and already the principals are out in the lead, as one would expect. Clitheroe, Steele, Purdue, Console, Dornay, and Byrne. Well, those athletes you would expect to be there are there. Now, what about the overall performances of these women? They come from contrasting backgrounds, really. Gemma Steele on the left, well, she took up running seriously at the age of 19. She's 26 now, right on the left of your shot. Clitheroe, certainly the most experienced of these athletes, and the diminutive figure. I've used that word before, but she's really tiny as Charlotte. She's one of those athletes coached by Mick Woods, and really ran one race this season. She won the Chichester 10K in February, and at the end of this race, she's going off along with Clitheroe, that's Helen Clitheroe, to Font-Romeu in the French Pyrenees. That's on Monday, with that's for 2 weeks. But back at the start, we've got the male athletes and the rest of the masses. Bekele there. Now, we saw him run in the Edinburgh Cross Country, and he wasn't very impressive in that. He was 11th in that race. Let's see which of the Bekeles turns up today. Well, we've got a little breakaway group here, haven't we? At the back of that, Console of Italy just dropping off the back of this group. We've got 4 already. Christelle Dornay of France. And these 4 now away from the rest of the field. Well, Console is dropping away from the leading 4. Behind Console is... it looks like Linda Byrne of Ireland. Steele, who really came to form, a couple of seasons ago in the Great South Run. She was 5th in that race, but it gave her all the confidence she needed. And since then, well, she's gone from strength to strength. She's had such a good season last season. But now let's go back and see the men and greet a formidable array of athletes here. And of course, we've already met one of them informally, Kenenisa Bekele. But first is Lamdesem. Ayad Lamdesem of Spain, an Olympian, a European cross-country silver medalist. And Mucci, the former footballer, bronze medalist in the European Championships in Barcelona in 2010 in the 10,000 metres. And Mark Keneally of Ireland represents Ireland in this race. He was second in 2006. He's a marathon man, really. España won this race last year. He returns to defend his title, but it's going to be a bit tougher this year. Now then, you hear the announcement in the back. Really, there's not enough space to introduce Kenenisa Bekele, double Olympic champion 4 years ago in Beijing. He says he's now in shape and ready to go. Well, what will we see from Kenenisa Bekele today? 10 kilometers of running, just to remind you. And Sonia O'Sullivan, incidentally, at the start of this race, she was the first winner. It set in 2003, the first time it was run. But my goodness, has it gone from strength to strength since then. Huge field, 11,500 in total. Many, of course, running for charities, many club runners, and many of those who are running for the very first time and achieving their very first 10-kilometer time. Little stopwatches being clicked, you can see that in the middle. Loads of stopwatches being clicked here. But now then, right at the front of this, Lamdesem on the left, Mucci in the centre, and Bekele, who's taken it on. Now that's interesting, because that did not happen in the cross-country race in Edinburgh early on in this season. Remember, he came 11th. He was beaten by people that wouldn't normally beat him, but my goodness, he wasn't impressive at all. Well, there's a vast field way back, and they will be for some time. But the women, with 6 kilometres to go, 4 kilometres gone, and it's down to 4. And you can see Linda Byrne of Ireland right in the background there, being well left behind. And those we expected to be there. Now, it's interesting from the point of view of Charlotte Purdue. She won it last year. Actually, Steele was second last year, so it's quite an interesting battle, this one, between the two. But I just wonder how Helen Cleaver will go in the middle. I mentioned she's the former Commonwealth Games bronze medalist at 1,500 metres, so she's got the pace. She's also a 5,000 metre runner now in the World Championships in Daegu last year. And, of course, the British record holder for steeplechase. She'll be looking for a place in the Olympic Games over 5,000 metres. She was 12th in that World Championship race last year, incidentally. She's coached by John Nuttall, the same as Gemma Steele. So a lot of common knowledge across the board here. Christelle Dornay holds the French national marathon record, as I said. It's 2:24:22, very respectable, set in April 2010. She's a 68:34 half marathon runner, so she's always going to be in contention here. Ran the Paris Marathon last year, was second, was third in the New York Marathon in 2009, just to give you a little bit of background on her. But Gemma Steele, well, what a couple of seasons she's had. She loves the cross-country, even when in 2009 in the English cross-country at Parliament Hill she lost both shoes and finished 17th. Of course, she won it this year. Very different. And that's Console. Looks as, I think she's in 5th place at the moment. But the men, no change, but the pace being set. And it's a quick pace too. Having gone through that first kilometre, Bekele is really setting a pace. You can see how they're all being strung out now. And this is a different Kenenisa Bekele. We were told he'd lost weight. We were told he'd lost about 4 kilograms of weight. And of course that will mean that he's a little bit sharper, but he didn't enjoy Edinburgh, the cross-country. Lamdesem in 2nd place, Mucci in 3rd place. Is that Martinez, the Spaniard behind him? I can see Nick McCormick there as well, the tall figure in the black strip, as the rest wend their way around this parkland course. It is a beautiful course, and just to reflect once again, it is its 350th anniversary this year, as well as being the 10th anniversary of this particular race. Now then, who will take this on? It looks to me as though Cleaver, who was right in the middle of that group, grimacing a little bit at halfway, just over 16 minutes, so it's a respectable run this. And there's a look of aggression on the face of Gemma Steele. Her training mileage varies between 90, but more typically 60 to 65. She works the hills a lot. Last year when I interviewed her, she said she didn't do weight training, but I understand that since that time she has taken on board the strength training aspect of distance running. Looks very, very good indeed, as always, and Purdue just eyes down, deep in concentration. Dornay still there, and Cleaver, I think, is dropping off the back. Helen Cleaver is dropping off the back. Remember, she was runner-up in this race in 2007, and incidentally, an interesting point there, it was the occasion of the last run on home soil for Sonia O'Sullivan that day. But two athletes in it again. Purdue ran yesterday, must have a bit of tiredness in those legs. And Steele, Gemma Steele, she's looking for the 10,000 metres. Gemma, actually, John Nuttall coaches her, I understand, but Liz McColgan is also advising her. But look at this now. It's single file. They're all allowing the pace to be set, and I can tell you why they are, because this is quick. Bekele leads, Lemdesem in second, Murci in third, and I think that is Jose Manuel Martinez of Spain in fourth. Well, this men's race really beginning to break up the field. Look at this, there are 5 away from the rest, and McCormick also looks to be there as well. I think we've got 2 very good races in prospect.